So today I did want to give a little shout out to the all of our new members, my new members of this group. Um,
Yay!
so just in the last week, we've added Marley, Cynthia, Pam, Alyssa, Leanne, Sandra, and Natalie. So welcome, ladies, and hopefully that you guys will all get a little something out of this. And we really love having people comment and say what they get out of our videos because, we want to make sure that we're bringing the most value and not wasting anybody's time here. So, yeah, definitely leave us some comments and you can feel free to invite other people to the group that you think might benefit from having some little money saving talks and just learning more about the financial stuff that we don't learn in schools because that's just it's also important. And I think that, we teach a lot more than just finance. Don't you agree, Carrie, that like
Absolutely.
we just teach, learning behavior modification tips to manage our own behavior and expectations because it's really hard. I
Yes.
mean, you're trying to do something new. It's a lot like working out and trying to get on a good eating plan and exercise and stuff like that. It's a lot. It's mostly mental. So,
100% mental for sure.
yeah, so let's see. So today we're going to talk about what did forgot. My dog's barking and I can hear her and I'm just like, oh, she's very distracting. So,
She wants in
um,
on the conversation about identity theft.
oh yeah, that's so funny that that was our topic because last night we were all outside. My neighbors just got back from their trip. They were gone for a week for hunting and everybody decided we were just going to order some food and have it. My son went and picked it up, and my neighbor was like, she goes, can you just order it and I'll pay you somehow? She's like, I can't use my debit card because my debit card was compromised, so they had to be
Oh
canceled. They had to
gosh.
order a new one, and all that
Oh,
stuff. And it
so
just made
not
me. I mean,
fun.
I think it's happened to everybody, though, right? I mean, don't you think pretty much everybody's gotten hit with the some kind of debit card disaster?
I have not been hit. I have been covered with identity theft for years and years, and I have not been hit on anything. So,
Wow,
yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, I've had
absolutely. When I
my,
was younger, yeah, but
yeah,
not since I've been covered.
now that you say that, I don't think I have either, since I have my monitoring, and it's good because they'll send you a little alert every time anything in the slightest happens. But I think one of the things is also if you don't like the fewer credit cards you have out there, the less of a chance they're going to get your number, right? Like, so we
Certainly
have,
a factor.
I mean, I have everybody on our family monitored, and my daughter even lost her card, but it's still like nothing ever happened with it, which thankfully she didn't have any money in
Yay.
her account anyway. But but she had to go through the whole, getting a new card and new number and everything. So it's always such a big pain.
It is a big pain.
So tell us a little bit about our identity theft stuff that we cover for people.
Well, my favorite thing that it covers, because I travel a lot, is whenever we travel, the first place we use our card gets declined because we didn't notify somebody we were traveling. And I have 100% peace of mind, and I don't get angry over that at all because I know that if somebody accidentally gets access to my card and tries to use it someplace where we don't typically use our card, it will be declined instantly. And I will never complain about that. We just have to make a quick call to the bank to let them know we're traveling and all is right in the world. And I will never complain about being declined ever or embarrassed because I know that it's the identity theft protection company protecting us in case somebody does have access to our card that shouldn't have access to our card. And yeah, it's been all good. I've actually been really surprised about how social media has been a big target for scam artists lately, and I have not been hit on that either. And they also cover social media and your um, Yeah, that thing that I don't use any longer.
Right.
Email, it covers your
Oh,
email. So
you
there's
don't
just
use it
things that it
anymore, huh?
covers. No,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
unless you would call me and say I sent you an email, that email will go off into the dark web hole of abyss of thousands of emails that have not been read.
I still use mine quite a bit, but yeah, I mean, it seems like we do messaging and stuff through, Messenger and texting and stuff like that. But yeah, I love that we can like list all of the different websites that we use for social in there, and it'll check those, and if somebody logs in, it'll give you an alert saying, oh, this might not be you, and because it's so easy that, I mean, everybody tends to use the same password over and over. And even if I mean, if it's easy for you to remember, it's probably going to be, I mean, it, it's probably not going to be necessarily the easiest password, but most of the time you have 85 different places that you can log into. You're not going to remember 85 different passwords. So, people tend to use the same one a lot, and it's just
Yeah.
it's so frustrating. And I know I was sitting down with a client the other day, and they aren't very tech savvy. So, we were trying to get an idea of their social security benefits and what those will be. And you have to log into all these places to create an account. And then if you already had an account, but you didn't realize it, then there's just all these hoops that you have to jump through. So it's great to have, a list somewhere that isn't easily accessible, that you can get to, but make sure your passwords are not all the same because,
Kind of a big
I
deal.
just, yeah, it's a big deal. And the other thing that I love about our identity theft protection is the sex offender alerts that we get. Like, thankfully, I don't live in an area where there's a whole lot, but I'm so glad that it tells you who's near you and who's moving into the neighborhood, because I know that we used to deliver postcards in the mail to people within a certain radius, like a couple streets, if somebody moved into the area and they were required to register. And some of them are kind of silly, where like, how people can get registered or have to register even though they did something dumb as a kid, and so like but at least what's going on, and you can just decide if you want to watch your kids a little closer, maybe not send them to the park by themselves. I don't know, but I like that's part of that system that we have.
Absolutely. And kids having their identity stolen is the biggest
Oh
area
yeah,
that is not being checked right now by parents because they don't even imagine that that's a thing. And that's been the biggest theft for identity theft is children. So buy the family plan because it covers your entire family, I think up to 10 kids for the same price
right.
of like $22 a month. And you don't have to worry about your kid's identity getting stolen and you having a part-time job trying to fix that before they go off to college when you finally notice it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have a friend who had a baby, and before they were able to go file their taxes for the first time after the baby was born, they found out her identity was already stolen
Oh my
because somebody
gosh,
got
that's
her, yeah,
insane.
somebody got her social security number that quick. And then
As a
so
newborn.
they're not even able to get like benefit from having a tax write-off for that kid because
Oh my
they
gosh.
already had to go fight it. And it's like, so like the minute you have your kids, you cover them and make sure that, their credit's locked and that nobody can see it, because I mean, we get credit card applications all the time for our dog and our kids, and it's amazing, these companies out there that get all this information, and you're like, where are they getting this from? Because
Exactly.
it's just mind-blowing. But they have access to
Absolutely.
everything. So, I mean, you have to realize, like, we don't have any privacy anymore. So
No, especially if
there's
you're
like,
using Bluetooth on your phone.
oh, right. I mean,
That's so accessible just by somebody standing next to you.
Yeah, that's true. I hadn't thought of that.
No,
Thanks for that
nobody thinks
reminder.
about that.
I guess that's why I never
Anytime,
get too
anytime I
close.
can help. I spend a lot of time talking to people about their stories, and I just hear the most incredible things that make life relevant in what I do. And so important that we share the information with everyone because we truly don't know what we don't know. And
Right,
if you're just sitting at home with your family hanging out, you're not having crucial conversations about things that are happening outside of your realm.
right,
And I like to get out and have conversations. It's my favorite thing to do is to learn what I don't know. And I want to know. I want to know what you know that I don't know.
right. Yeah, where do you file all that stuff? Because I'm just like, yeah, I mean,
Uh,
lately I've been hearing a lot of stories and learning a lot of things, and it is interesting, when you start hearing stuff and you're just like, I never would have known that even existed, you know.
exactly.
And but yeah, that friend I had with the kid and their identity stolen so quick, I was just like, that's unbelievable, And then just, but yeah, I mean, I watched that movie, the Snowden movie, the one about, the guy who blew the whistle on the CIA and how they were just
Oh,
basically able to see everything that we're doing and
oh, yeah.
monitor our phone calls and everything. And I was just like, wow. I mean, there's there should be no illusion that we have any privacy anymore with
Oh, no.
anyone. So
Absolutely. Especially when you show up with a conversation you were having that was random about healthcare yesterday with a friend, and now healthcare stuff is popping up on your Facebook.
yeah.
That's not
I think I
random.
had the same thing too because I've been talking about the senior healthcare stuff and the certification and yeah, and it's like and then I start getting emails from stuff and I'm like, I'm not on Medicare. I don't need this. But why are you sending me? But
You're
yeah.
being listened to
Oh
with
yeah.
everything.
So bad. It's just so bad. So, I mean, that's why we have identity theft protection because they monitor everything and then they let us know when stuff is happening that, you set up your alerts for what you want it to monitor for. And if, like mine will send me whenever my credit score changes. Not that I'm really that concerned with it, but it changes 2 points and they're sending me an alert. Hey, your credit score changed. And I think that it's a good thing because I don't apply for credit. And so the only way my credit's going to change is if a bill was paid on time and sometimes they change it. Who knows what their little algorithms are, and why they put it up or down, it just maybe, oh, I think sometimes it's because it's based on your available credit. So like as we pay our mortgage off, it changes based on that. But
Ah, gotcha. Well, I think every single person in this country needs identity theft protection. It's just part of the adulting realm that
right.
you need it because
And you
if
have
it
to have the
hasn't
right
happened to you yet,
one.
it's coming.
Yeah,
Oh,
and the
absolutely.
right one because some of those I got a free credit monitoring from Equifax or something because when I worked for the post office, they had a leak, and so they paid for the monitoring from what Equifax or Experian or whatever, and I think it was Equifax. They're the ones who breached our security in the first place. So,
Yeah,
what
when that breach
would that
happened, I was like,
be?
breach away. You're not my protection.
Right? Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just ironic that the company who allowed someone to get all of your information in the first place is saying, "Oh, well, you know what? We'll offer you free monitoring or whatever." And they don't really do much except tell you when somebody has already stolen your identity. You have to like be proactive about preventing them from using your information. So I know plenty of people who just put like freezes on their credit reports and stuff so people can't like open accounts in their name. And I mean that's an option, I guess. I don't I don't do that myself,
No.
but I mean, it's just so much and I guess for me the peace of mind of knowing that if somebody does steal my identity the company is going to cover everything. Like they do all the work to fix it. And I don't have to sit
Exactly.
here on the phone and call the companies. And, that's why so many people have credit issues and they have to do the credit repair stuff because they didn't have any identity theft protection. Someone stole their identity and started opening accounts in their name and charging up cards. And then they have to go back and try to prove that it wasn't them. And the companies are like, well, you have to prove it wasn't you. Like, there's nothing to prove. They don't, like, you don't have to prove that it was someone else. You just have to prove it wasn't you. And that's so hard to do
Exactly.
sometimes because you
Yeah.
just like, I mean, in some cases it's easy. You can prove you were at home and they were, in another state or something. But a lot of times it's people locally that, they'll target someone local. So it's just,
Have the protection.
yeah. So anyway.
Priceless.
And so what is our plan run? It's 20, I can't remember. I think I pay
It's
$25
11 for
for,
singles and 22 for a family.
right, right, 22 for a family. Yeah. I have all three of my kids covered and my husband and everyone. So it's a really
That's
good,
22 bucks in your budget.
and it's the same price as some of the other ones that all they do is monitor and tell you that something's up. They don't fix it. So if you're gonna, if you're gonna pay the money out, you might as well get more, the most bang for your buck.
Exactly.
So anyway, I think next week our topic should be about the different types of savings accounts that people need to have.
Let's do
Because
it.
I don't think we've really covered that yet. And I think that having emergency funds and stuff, especially when you might have an identity theft issue, like somebody comes and steals your identity. If you have your like extra money in the bank, then you don't have to worry about your credit cards all being shut off and having to fix your credit and stuff. You've got money in the bank to cover anything that comes up in that time that you're dealing with everything. So, but yeah, we'll talk about
Exactly.
emergency funds, short-term savings, long-term savings, all the different places to to store that cash so that you can get to it when you really need it. So, but yeah, we'll do that next week. And
Sounds like
I
a
think
great plan.
that's our topic for today, identity theft. So we'll see you guys next time on
Fabulous.
our money making sense videos.
Love it.